Okay, now rock and roll.
Levels. There's nothing more rock and roll than rock and roll. Wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Now rock and roll. All right.
Now, I'm not. I want to rock and roll all night. I want to rock and roll like a third of the night, maybe, and then I just want to sleep.
We gotta seriously. Can we wrap up this rock and roll by 8:30? I mean, at the drive. You got to get out of the parking lot and the drive, and then
you can rock and roll all you want. I only really want to rock and roll just for a little bit.
Yeah. And by the way, if I rock and roll all night, there's no way I'm partying all day the next day. Like, it's going to take me I'm going to be sleeping. Like,
we're going to talk about that here in a bit.
Sweet. All right. Hey, can I have the password to our DraftKings account?
Sure. And 2, why?
I think I found a way for us to finally make money on DraftKings.
I'm all in for that. You want to let me know what's going on?
Yeah. Well, since RuPaul All-Stars is starting this week, Lisa has gone back and watched all the previous appearances by all 8 queens who's going to be on this season.
So homework? Scouting.
Yeah, scouting. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know there was going to be homework, but this is scouting because it's betting. Okay. Yeah. So she's scouting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how is this going to make us money? I mean, I'm sure it's fun and it's fine. You promised money.
Right. Well, I think clearly our knowledge of sports is pretty much useless in betting.
So you think Lisa's knowledge of RuPaul is better than our knowledge of sports?
Evidence shows it can't be worse. See the mascot bracket as Exhibit A.
Yeah, that's a good point. So let's go $10 on Raja at plus 1,500.
I don't even know how any of this works, but sounds good to me.
Hi, toddlers. Welcome to Talking to Todd, a weekly podcast with Dewayne Johnson and Todd Prince, where failure is always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm tired. I'm absolutely beat.
Way to bring the energy at the top of the show.
I can only fake it for about 15 seconds after that. I started out at 5 o'clock this morning in Chicago. Got home at 11:26, jumped on calls at 11:30, noon, 1. Ran the rental car to the airport at 2:15. Did another call at 2:30 until 3:30 plus, taking the last portion of it while I was walking from the car to Drake Stadium, where I then watched my nephew run in the 3,200 in the state track meet. We're really proud of him. I think he's the first person in our family to qualify for the state track meet ever. It was great.
Oh, I was thinking he's certainly the first person to participate at state. Oh, sorry. That's too soon.
30 years. Too soon. And now here I am. And I am beat. I'm absolutely beat. But I am going to suck it up because we got stuff to do. How are you?
Well, if we're grading on a curve, I'm fantastic.
We generally are. So follow up from the cold open.
Yes.
Is there a parlay between who breaks a heel and who loses a wig on the first dance off?
I haven't even looked. All right. Like, I don't I haven't found the RuPaul tab yet on DraftKings. I'm assuming it's there. I was surprised it wasn't on the front page.
No,
So,
it's tucked in fine.
uh, I should have seen that coming. I should have, and yet I didn't. I mean, you're not that tired. All right.
Should we move directly to feedback, follow up, and
Yeah.
updates?
Yes, we should. We should
I
have
didn't.
probably 30 seconds earlier.
I didn't have anything written down from Amy on my sheet.
However, if you remember Saturday.
Oh God, that was eons ago. But okay, yeah.
Saturday at 6:31 a.m. my time. Text message from Amy with a story. Brett Favre solicited welfare money from the poorest state in the nation. Idiot of the Week nomination? 11:28 a.m. Clearly hadn't listened to this week's podcast.
Oh yeah,
We're on
that's
it.
right.
We're on it.
We got that one.
It's one of our
Doug and
regular
Dan.
beats, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're, you want to cover Brett Favre screwing over the state of Mississippi, we're on it.
Yep, we covered it, and Doug and Dan covered it last week as well. This was, yep. and they also covered the golf story that you brought for our cold open. Yep.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yep. So Doug also sent me a little feedback. If you remember, I accused him of complaining about how many idiots we do every week. Yes. And he says, I was actually referencing the Anthony Jeselnik podcast that does a few segments and headlines. And the thing that lengthens it is when they get longer. And it was not you and Todd, but in the vein of Is It Cake? If the shoe fits, eat it.
Wait, so somebody else has our format?
Apparently.
We're not the first two guys doing a podcast to come up with this format?
Of nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Okay. Anyway. Did Lisa have anything?
Yeah, so I had feedback from Lisa because we recorded early last week. She gave me feedback from 2 weeks ago, shortly after we recorded. So we're all so this is for 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
If you remember, I had I believe it was 2 weeks ago. That was the one where I had asked you to replace my singing with Biz Marquis, and you left mine in and added his.
Yeah.
Lisa's feedback: I sounded better than Biz Marquis. I don't know, like that's a low bar, but I'll take it.
Actually, Amy on listening looks at me. I told you there wasn't supposed to be any singing. I don't care who it is. Okay, whatever.
Upon listening back, you could make a strong case that was barely tangential to singing, but not actual singing. Okay. Also, quote, we managed to make baseball even more boring than it is on its own, unquote. Considering that we talked in a single episode about grading umpires and then how to watch baseball on streaming. Fair. I'll eat that shoe. And then she had a bit of advice for us. She said, when one of us says this won't air, we should go with our first instinct and make that happen. So anyway, just some notes.
Oh.
Let's see. How about any feedback from Sarah?
So Sarah says, when you were talking about Amy's AirTag, Todd said, urine promotions. And she heard urine promotions, which gave the segment a totally different vibe.
Nope. Don't go there. Nope.
That was not what you were. That was not where you were going.
Nope.
Because I thought maybe we were number one in urine promotions.
Sarah, you're feeding into this now. Like this is anyway. Okay.
We asked about her current status with the wiki editor.
Yeah.
She will reply in song parody. We don't talk about wiki. No, no, no. So she's no help there. Let's see what else. Oh, we got something from Jesse.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Hey, Dwayne and Todd. It's Jesse from Taylor Farms in Las Vegas. No, not that other Taylor Farms. For the past few episodes, Taylor Farms has been mentioned quite a bit, so I decided that it would only be fair to sponsor the show. I went to our CFO with the idea, who promptly told me that the return on investment was actually in the negative, so the answer was no. Then I went to the Taylor Farms Family Foundation, which is the philanthropic wing of Taylor Farms, and worked with the board to see if talking to Todd was a viable sponsorship. They said no. But then, someone in the foundation found in a desk drawer a $10 gift card for iTunes that I could give that to you for sponsorship. So, the Taylor Farms Family Foundation will be sponsoring Todd's Tech Corner on the show. We would like the first segment of the sponsorship to be Todd explaining how multi-factor authentication works, and then from that point forward, whatever Todd thinks is appropriate to enhance our education and technology for current events. Oh, and you're going to need the gift card number, so hold on for a second. I'm going to need my little key here to scratch this off. Okay, here we go.
Foley's great.
X, F, hold on. You know what? I should probably use the phonetic alphabet to make this easier for you to write this down, okay? Dwayne, get a pen or a pencil, whatever you like. X-ray, Foxtrot, 8, Zulu, 3, Foxtrot, 8, 3, Romeo, Lima, Quebec, Whiskey, Yankee, 9, Quebec, 2. If you need me to do that over again, let me know. Just send me a note, and I'll get that to you. But we're really happy to sponsor the show, and talk to you later. All right, see you. Bye.
Did you get that?
Well, I heard it. I thought you were writing that down.
Oh, no, I didn't have a pen handy.
Oh.
I may have to call him because I can't back it up.
No, call him, have him read it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thank you to the what is it, the philanthropic wing of Taylor Farms?
Yeah, the Taylor Farms Family Foundation.
Ah, there we go. Yep. Okay.
Actually, it's thank you to the messy desk of the Taylor Farms Family Foundation is who we really should be thanking. It's one abandoned desk over in the corner that we're giving our appreciation to.
Oh, yeah. That did come with a request, however.
Yes.
All right. We'll talk about that later. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Jesse, and thank you to the Taylor Farms Family Foundation. Yes. Yeah.
I see. Since I've been getting the donations from the Greg and Sherry High Family Foundation, why don't you go ahead and redeem that?
All right.
Speaking of the Greg and Sherry High Family Foundation, when I was in Chicago this week, Greg and Sherry and I went to a Cubs game together.
On purpose?
Well, yeah. Sherry said, well, if we're into torture, we could go to a Cubs game. Little did she know that the torture was going to be the 2.5 hours it took her to get from Naperville to Wrigleyville. Because in the first inning, the Cubs batted around and scored 8 runs.
I was just going to say 2.5 hours. Did she set a new personal time on her bike?
The parking was easy. At the game, the Greg and Sherry High Family Foundation have generously offered to sponsor a Talking to Todd hosted drain, because the city of Naperville has this Adopt a Drain program.
Okay. Okay. So
this is kind of follow-up, because much like the snowplow program, you get to name your drains. So if we named all of the drains on a street corner, on all 4 where the street comes together, all 4 of them, I mean, one of them would obviously be the Talking to Todd Memorial Drain.
Yes. Right.
But the others, Dwayne Johnson,
Wait, hold on. Drain the Rock Johnson.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Even Dwayne, not the Rock Johnson.
Either one.
Not that anybody would get that, but Dwayne the Rock Johnson, people would think is funny.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brain drain. The drain in Spain falls mainly in the plain. It's draining men. What else? We brainstormed a bunch of these. Great expectations. All Dwaynes lead to the ocean. On that one, we'd actually write out Dwayne. Drain's World.
Excellent.
Right? The Midnight Drain to Georgia. Several. So the rules are, so here's the other thing. They're sponsoring this because it's free.
Smart.
So you sponsor it kind of like you adopt a highway. So
Right.
it doesn't cost you anything to do it, but then you have to maintain the drain, which they would
Mostly walk outside and clear the leaves off.
Yes, or if there's trees growing in them, which occasionally apparently there are in Naperville, but they promise to do that if we promise to allow them to sponsor on our behalf. I thought it was a fantastic idea, and it will make at least as much money as the rest of the business opportunities that we've pitched around here. Did you have suggestions for other drains?
I mean, I'm trying to come up with them, but no, I'm gonna probably have to do some work on this. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this may be follow up.
Because I'm not sitting at a baseball game with some beers, watching it, coming up with ideas. Yeah.
Let's see. Wow, we had a lot of feedback this week. Well, see, that's what happens when we record on Tuesday and then we don't record until a week from the following. Yeah. Anywho, corrections. I had 3.
Okay. All right. I didn't have any, so I'll let you go.
Okay. So the first one, I said, the Miami F1 race was boring, and you said except for those 2 laps.
Okay.
This correction came from Amy. There was more passing in Miami than in any other race so far this year. So while there wasn't any passing between first and second, there was a whole lot of other passing going on, which if you care about, Daniel, maybe it matters.
Okay. All right. I'll save the bulk of this rant for when we do our F1 show, which we should probably do at some point. You get 25 points for winning a race. The 10th place person gets 1 point, and 11 through 20 gets 0. So, based on the FIA's own scoring system, I care 25 times more about what's happening at the front of the race. And while everybody's like, you wouldn't believe all the passing that happened between 15th and 17th, nobody cares. The FIA doesn't care at all about what happens back there. So neither do I. That's the way it works. But we stand corrected. Well, we sit corrected.
Corrected in this case.
All right. Okay, what else we got?
At the end of the show, I always say, stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office.
Yes.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, last week you did not put that caveat in.
So please, I need to issue a correction this week that I did not say that last week. That doesn't mean you should visit us. Please don't do that. Okay. You caught that, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Oh, hey.
Whoa. I think that's a legally binding invitation.
Good luck finding us. We're 116 episodes into this and we still haven't found ourselves.
My concern is, given the fact that that the undisclosed location is closer to the home office than yours. What I'm really concerned about is when I heard that was a text from you on a Sunday at like 7 a.m. Hey Todd, get to the home office by 3. Visitors are coming. Wait, what?
Somebody made reservations. I don't know. How about follow up? Things we need to clean up from last week? Arizona State
Yes.
is hosting the Coyotes
Yes.
in the new arena. Did you see
Yes.
this story?
No, I did
Arizona
not.
State will not allow the Coyotes to use the Coyote logo at the center ice.
Yes, because they're going to have to keep the Sun Devil logo there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you're not going to pull the ice up and repaint it and then lay the new ice down. So, yeah.
No, yeah. According to the agreement, Arizona State owns the rights to and the revenue from all advertising.
Yes.
The in-ice advertising is a revenue source for Arizona State. The Coyotes aren't allowed to modify the look of the ice surface, including the Arizona State logo at the center of the ice. Now, there has been an update since this story was originally released, and the Coyotes and Arizona State will they will have them both as part of the deal. But
I was going to say the update was apparently Phoenix still has a hockey team. Who knew?
Who knew? So the story was funnier to begin with, but apparently
now it's just getting sad for the professional team.
Yeah. Cooler heads prevailed.
I'm just gonna. I'll throw out one here. You know how we were talking a couple of weeks ago about how bad the baseball umpires are at calling balls and strikes, and that they have a system that actually they grade them on but they don't. Anyway, starting in AAA baseball in the Pacific Coast League, in the next, I think it's already started. They're now using robot umpires to call balls and strikes. So it's going to be at AAA this year as an experiment. Yeah. So I have a sneaking suspicion somebody in Major League Baseball is also thinking this may be a problem. So although here's the problem. They said they said it's going to be the robo umpire, but all it is it's a system that then tells the umpire behind the plate whether it's a ball or a strike. And I'm like, no. You promised me a robot umpire.
Strike.
I want to see a full on robot back there just sweeping the plate.
Billy.
Anyway, so this might be a problem that gets corrected. Other follow up.
We talked about horse racing money. That's horse racing money. I should have said giraffe money. That's my bad.
I think giraffe money is more than horse racing money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giraffe money. Horse racing money. I mean, they bought the Kentucky Derby winner for $30,000. Now you got to train him and do all of that, right? I mean, the giraffe money is you just say to a person, I would like a giraffe. And then your staff not only acquires a giraffe for you, but also everything around it. So I think it's probably one step above horse racing money.
Let's see. You were talking about the Manchester airport story.
Yeah.
You said this story was in the Independent?
Yes.
And Amy and I looked at each other and said, Trent Grimm? So there was that. That's just a little tiny piece of follow-up.
My comeback to you is a spoiler for season 2, so I can't even say it.
Oh, and then this is so peek behind the curtain. Every week I start by writing the liner notes, the show notes. And I sent them over to you. And you sent back notes and a star. Did you give my notes a 1-star review?
All right, hold on. I mean, scrolling back. Broncos player arrested. Scrolling back. Oh, okay. No. Oh, That's technically, it is a 1 star. I see how you could. That was a gold star.
Oh,
It's a
thank you.
gold star. Yes.
I'm like, I only got 1 star for those? Wah, wah. Okay, I'll try to do better.
No. Well, I mean, but no. Although, now that I think about it, the top and the bottom of the scale have the exact same icon. It's up to you to figure out what I meant.
Then I'm going to say I got a gold star. That'll make me feel better as a person and as a writer. Should we move to the Taylor Farms? I'm never going to be able to say this without screwing it up. The Taylor Farms Todd's Tech Corner? Is that how we want to say this? Or Todd's Tech Corner brought to you by the Taylor Farms Family Foundation?
That works. We may have to have the development wing reach out to Taylor Farms and find out how they would like that. Yeah, we can move on to that. What was the request for this segment?
I don't know. It was so long ago at this point. I'm so tired. What did he want? They're going to back the tape up, or do I need to call him? Sorry.
I think,
please.
Nope. It was asking Todd to explain multi-factor authentication.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do I need to do that?
And then subsequent ones were just me pick a topic that would educate us all on computers, which, as we've seen, is not the highest rated portion of our shows. But here's what I'm going to say. For everybody who doesn't want to hear about multi-factor authentication, the bid is $10 to talk about MFA. If you would prefer not to talk about an MFA,
Ooh.
the bid is $11. But yes,
the fast forward button skips 15 seconds at a time on your podcast player.
Oh, really? No. Okay. Okay. So this Todd's Tech Corner is brought to you by Taylor Farms Family Foundation and listeners like you. Okay. So multi-factor authentication. Yes, that is the thing. Okay. You have a username and a password at a website, and then some places allow you to do another step. It might be a text message. Like, you have to put in this text message. It could be like a Google Authenticator or an Authy app that rotates every, like a 6-digit code that rotates every 30 seconds. Basically, multi-factor authentication says that when you go to log into a site, you have to have 2 of 3 possible factors. The factors are something you know, something you have, or something you are. A password is something you know. You know that. A code sent to a device shows that you have a phone or something. That means that's something you have. Something you are would be like a fingerprint, right? Or Face ID. That would also be, but you need 2 of them, not 3 of them. Well, I mean, you could go 3, but not just one. Every account that you have that is worth almost anything, if they offer you to enable it, you should enable it. Because what it does is, if somebody gets hacked and they get your password, if it's on an account with multi-factor authentication, then they also need the text message or the code or Face ID or whatever. So it makes the fact that even if the company gets hacked, you're still likely to not have your account exposed. Although if they've hacked the company and they've gotten their passwords, they probably have all your data anyway. But that's besides the point. There's another thing there. So
yeah, because Apple has my fingerprint.
No, Apple does not. No, they don't.
My device has my fingerprint.
Your phone has your fingerprint. Apple has what is considered, it's a hash of your fingerprint. They know when you put your thumb on the device, it takes all the data from your fingerprint and it runs it through an algorithm and spits out a number at the other end. It then tells Apple, here's the number I got this time. And then Apple says that number is the number, that number matches, we're good, or that number doesn't match, don't let them in. And the trick to a hash, and this is the thing, it's easy to do in one direction. It is nearly impossible to do in the other direction, even if you know how it's done. So even though Apple knows the solution, they can't back solve to get your fingerprint.
Really?
Yeah. So nothing biometric. That's also true of Face ID. Face ID is only on your device. Which is why if you have an iPad and a phone, you have to set up Face ID or Touch ID on both devices.
Sure. That
Your
makes
biometric
sense.
data never leaves it. Apple doesn't know anything about it. So
That makes sense. This
you go.
was very educational. Thank you.
I'm glad somebody enjoyed it. No, yes.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
No, okay. Gold star or 1 star, you pick. So if given a choice, always turn on multi-factor authentication. And if given a choice, realistically, just if given a choice between getting a text message on your phone and setting up a 6-digit code that you do an app on your phone, always do the 6-digit thing on your phone. Text messages are actually amazingly highly insecure, and they're better than not having it. But there's a huge weakness in the SMS system, so you should do a 6-digit code if given the choice. So there you go. And
you could have saved that last bit for follow-up.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll bring it back next week just to make it clear. And by the way, one last fun fact. If you are in enterprise IT and you don't have multi-factor authentication, and then you turn it on, you are not appreciated by anybody that works for the company at all.
So, Todd's fun facts. When I was traveling this week, we were in the car. We were in Chicago. We drove by Buckingham Fountain. And I told the people in the car the story about Todd's tours.
Yes.
And how that we are convinced that there's a family out there that believes that Prince Charles played soccer on that field. And they thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. You just got to say it with confidence. You know, I can make something up about Buckingham Fountain. Todd could, on the fly. It uses 13 million gallons of water a month. You wouldn't, little known fact. Most people don't know this. Anyway, so yeah, I was on the road this week.
Oh, little known fact about Buckingham Fountain. So that fountain actually supplies all of the fresh water to every building inside the loop. Yeah.
Huh.
And you'll notice at times when watching the fountain that like each individual, like the fountain kind of goes down or whatever. That's because somebody flushed the toilet.
You should see that fountain at halftime of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's just
well,
yeah.
It just is the fountain broken? No, it'll be back in about 30 minutes. Anyway, what else we got?
Last week I told you, I updated you about Amy's server issues at work.
Yes.
And then I cut it out.
Yes.
She still has server issues at work. And the solution that they thought they had is not going to work.
Yeah.
So their interim solution, while they figure out a real solution, is to use the Microsoft Blob. And I didn't know this was a thing.
I'm just going to be honest, nor did I.
Okay. Maybe we should invite Amy as a special guest on Todd's Tech Corner. Maybe she can educate and inform.
I mean, why would I know what the Microsoft Blob is? I don't have anything to do with enterprise technology.
So anyway, let's see. I've got a couple of things here under main topics. One, and this is very short. Somebody had a birthday last week.
Did somebody?
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Lisa posted on Facebook a picture of you wearing a snazzy hat with the caption, "Happy birthday, my love. You just keep getting better." I can guarantee you she wasn't talking about the podcast. Because we're not.
No.
Neither one of us.
The trend line is not going well.
But that was nice. That was nice to see. And I hope you had a really good birthday.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. All sorts of fun stuff. Some of which we may talk about a little later.
Okay. But you got something. You got something under main topics. What did you bring to the table?
I'm gonna send you a link. There's a website that somebody went out and did. It's called podcastdetails.com. Actually, I don't need to send you the link. If you just go to
go to podcastdetails.com. A little Foley there. Get all the stats about oh, this is not going to go well.
You have to put in our feed. I just sent you the link with our feed in it. You should be able to click on that. And it breaks down, it goes back through our entire feed. Speaking of trends.
Episode link. Oh, there's some short ones. Okay.
Well, the bonus episodes are really screwing us up or helping us out one way or the other, right? Like those bonus episodes. What I would like to draw your attention to is the calendar as the day that these things drop.
Wow. Fridays plus minus. What? Okay, so what?
A lot of plus minuses. If you scroll down, if you keep scrolling down, it says how many episodes we have. And it also says day of the week. We have released, of the 100 episodes that are in this feed, right? Because it doesn't have some of the early ones. There's 100 episodes that it has here. The average duration is 56 minutes, which the bonus ones are skewing a bit. Episodes per month, 4.7. Size of episode. Okay. Day of the week, 40% drop on a Friday. So it is the most frequent day. However, it's Saturday 33, Thursday 10. Yeah. Title word cloud. The title, the word that has appeared most in our titles, bonus. Once again,
the bonus episodes are skewing it.
Yeah. Also, welcome 4 times. Hey 4 times.
That's high.
Hi. I didn't know how we were using it in that case.
Okay.
4 times. Good news. We are the author of 100% of our shows.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. And 99% of our shows are marked as not explicit.
So 1%. I wonder what show that was.
It was fairly early, but I think I remember saying, yeah, we got to mark that as explicit. Mostly because if we don't mark it as explicit and you didn't bleep something, if Apple got word of it, we could be taken down off of Apple. So it was mostly to make Apple happy. So anyway,
okay,
here you go. You can just take a look at our stats. Interesting to almost nobody except you and me, but there you go.
There's a whole section on audio quality.
Yeah, that's only kilobytes per second, not actual quality of the audio or the content.
Okay, I'm like, oh, hey, they rated us. No, they didn't. No.
By the way, I think before we move on, I've got one idiot of the week this week that I want to make sure it gets in. I've got a couple listed here, but let's just do one.
Okay.
And this one's a great story. It does have to do with European football, but it really is. You played team sports. I mean, this is just so. This story comes from the French side, Lyon, and they cut Brazilian defender Marcelo. Okay, that happens. Sure. It was after they lost 3-0. And he was caught laughing during the captain's speech to rally the troops after the game. And everybody thought, oh, that's not a good look. Oh, I bet you that's why they got rid of him.
Uh-huh.
According to ESPN sources, however, nope. Nope. A professional football player was cut from his team because in the locker room, he was farting and laughing.
Really?
He signed a new contract at the start of the season and was considered one of the senior leaders of the team. But apparently this season, he had continually farted at teammates and then laughed at them. And eventually it became such a problem that they just cut him.
So they cut one?
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I blame me on that one. That's on me. All right. So anyway, Marcelo, there you go.
There you go.
34-year-old Brazilian defender.
There he goes.
Got cut from his team for being a 14-year-old.
What are you watching this week?
Okay, a couple things. So on my birthday was English football, the FA Cup final.
Uh-huh.
It pitted a few months ago. I talked about it was the Carabao Cup final, which was Liverpool and Chelsea, and I said how it was 0-0 for most of it, and it was one of the most fantastic games you could ever watch. That one went full 90 minutes, and then went to the 30 minutes of extra time, then went to penalties, and it was decided on the 22nd penalty kick is what decided that.
Yeah.
Same two teams are now playing for the FA Cup on Saturday. So it's my birthday. Going to watch it. 0-0 the entire game. Not as exciting. As a matter of fact, pretty much by the second half, there was just a lot of walking up and down the field with kicking the ball. And as the commentators pointed out, for the two teams at this point in the season, it was Chelsea's 61st game of the year and Liverpool's 60th match. So they were kind of tired. So nobody could actually score. So then that meant your reward for that is playing. I know you're tired. How about playing another 30 minutes? That extra 30 minutes wasn't stellar. There was just a lot of, I don't know, who wants to chase it? You want to chase it? I don't want to chase it. Does somebody, the referee's like, somebody has to kick this ball. It went to penalty kicks. I believe it was decided on the 14th penalty kick instead of going all the way to the goalkeepers. Liverpool won in February, and Liverpool won this match as well. So anyway, I did say at one point that these two teams had one of the most exciting games you could ever see, even without scoring. What I can also tell you is this was a somewhat exciting game for part of it, and part of it was a game on the schedule. We also, yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah. We also finally watched Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Uh-huh.
Watched that. That was Saturday night. We went outside and rented it and put it up on the TV outside and sat outdoors and watched it. I will say at this point, Lisa and I were both like, okay. I mean, it was good. I mean, there was some good stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had some higher expectations because reviews were like, this was the best Marvel movie we've ever seen. And it was fine. It was good. Yeah, okay. We watched it. And the last one I would say is we talked about this last week, Girls 5 Eva. Yep. We continue to watch that. My goodness, that's a funny show. I have not been skipping the ending credits. I've been listening to the songs all the way through. Wow. That's just.
Oh, they're so good.
How about you? What have you been watching?
We started watching The Lincoln Lawyer.
Isn't that your dad's nickname?
Well, he does live on Lincoln.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I suppose he could be the Lincoln lawyer.
Oh,
Had never
something
thought of
else.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sorry.
Maybe this book is what was about him.
And when you say started watching The Lincoln Lawyer, this is not the Matthew McConaughey. Was it him in a movie? Was this a new version?
You are correct. You are
okay.
All right. Let me try that again. You are all right. That is still not right. Lord God, I am tired. All right. No, this is a version that I think is on Netflix. It's okay. Amy finished it while I was gone this week, and I don't know, maybe 3 episodes in. So I have some work to do. Her review was, it's really good. You need to finish that so that we can talk about it. I'm like, okay, not going to happen tonight because I'm really tired. And so I'm trying to watch The Lincoln Lawyer. I've been so busy this week. Lucas came home. Lucas has been home, so we've hung out with him. And then I got on the road and I went to Chicago. We'll talk about that a little bit on what I learned, but I haven't had a whole lot of time to watch a whole lot of anything. So
great. Todd's watched a movie that's been out for like 6 months, and Dewayne's watched a movie. Part of a TV. Okay, sure.
This is a fantastic segment. Oh, how about did you learn anything for your birthday or otherwise?
Well, so in preparation for spending the weekend outdoors, I thought there's some work I need to do in the backyard. Looks like a mess. I'm going to go clean it up. So I got out for the couple of days prior, and I was spending time, and even on the day of my birthday and the following, I was out there, picking stuff up and doing all this stuff. However, at the same time I was doing that, we were under a red flag warning. And a red flag warning, for people that don't live where it can just catch on fire, a red flag warning is that if conditions are ripe for a wildfire, and should the wildfire start, it's going to spread quickly, because the two main things are humidity below 10% and winds. We were having 30 to 40 mile an hour winds with 60 mile an hour gusts. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I was out there cleaning up petals coming off of flowers and trees and all of this. And I was out there with a shop vac. I was out there with a broom and then a shop vac, and I was doing all this. And basically this is what happened. I would go out, I would do the backyard, and I would clean it all up. And then I would turn around, and everything that I cleaned looks like I hadn't been there. It was like painting the Golden Gate Bridge. And I did that 3 times before finally saying, fine, you win, right? Like, you just, why am I even trying at this point? Yeah. So the one weekend that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this. No, you're not. No, well, you are, but you're not. So anyway, that's what I learned. Why even try to clean the backyard? Why even try? That's my takeaway. How about you? What'd you learn?
Well, I went to Chicago, like I said, stayed downtown at the Palmer House, Hilton Palmer House, right? Second largest hotel in the city of Chicago. One of the oldest, built in 1923. The thing that I learned, among other things, was that the chocolate brownie was invented at the Palmer House Hotel.
Okay. I mean, you don't think that the brownie had to be weren't brownies always here?
See, that's what I thought. But apparently in 1890...
And on the sixth day, God created brownies, and he said these are good, and he was right. No, that's not in the book. That is not in the book.
Did you say on the 6th day Todd created brownies?
No. I said he created. No. Yeah.
I think you said God created.
Yes,
but
I did. Yes, God created brownies. Yeah,
I heard what I heard was Todd created brownies.
Oh, no. Todd would never refer to himself in the third person like that.
So officially, according to Wikipedia, source of all truth and knowledge, in 1893, Bertha Palmer, who was the wife of the owner of the Palmer House, asked the pastry chef for a dessert suitable for ladies attending the Chicago World Columbian Exposition. She requested a cake-like confection smaller than a piece of cake that could be included in boxed lunches, and the result was the Palmer House brownie with walnuts and an apricot glaze. So while she gets credit should probably also go to the pastry chef from the Palmer House Hotel.
Who actually created it.
Yes, exactly. The first known printed use of the word brownie didn't appear until 1896. For whatever that's worth. Again, Wikipedia, source of all truth and knowledge. So I thought that was going to be shorter than it was. But Todd created brownies. Derailed me there for a second. The other thing that I learned, and much like we don't talk about wiki, no, we don't talk about work, but
Yes.
last night we had a party for work, a client event. It wasn't a party. It was a party. It was client reception. And because we were in Chicago, we invited a retired player from the Chicago Bears. Jim Miller was our guest. My job last night was Jim Miller's body man. Whatever Jim needs, Dewayne takes care of. Do you need something to drink? Do you need and he was he was fantastic. Personable. He showed up early. We just stood around and talked. I stood around and talked to Jim Miller for 30 minutes last night before the party started about everything and nothing. Kind of like this podcast. We just the nicest guy, and he mingled with our guests, talked to them, gave a little bit of a speech, tied his football career to business and how you have to be accountable and have to have production and show results. And if you don't, just ask Matt Nagy. What's he doing?
Oof.
Right? Yes. And he signed autographs and he took pictures. Part of my job was if somebody wanted their picture taken with Jim, I would take their phone, take the picture of. So I would do that. We had a game where it was like this net with holes in it. So we threw footballs and you could challenge Jim to see if you could score, first 1 to 10 points wins. Only one person all night beat him. So it was just,
hey, how did Jay Cutler get in here? Oh no, he wouldn't have beat Jim Miller. I mean, the ones he made would have been awesome, and then he would have thrown a soul-crushing interception to the caterer.
And I just name dropped for the last 6 minutes. Do you want to comment on that, or you want me to play the theme?
I was just going to say, I mean, at this point, you're in Chicago and you're name dropping. I just feel like, look, Michael Wilbon already has his job. You don't need to shoot for it.
The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. You can subscribe to Talking to Todd wherever you get your pods. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast. Just search Talkin' and the number 2. No G, no space. You can tweet us on Facebook. You can check out our award-winning merch on Zazzle. You can leave us a voicemail at 515 also CPA. And you can, as always, stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office.
Please don't do that.
Thank you. Thanks to our listeners and our sponsors, Toddlers 3187 and Taylor Farms Family Foundation. And DJ to Go Cedar Valley, your 5-star dealer. See, I've been listening to Dan too much. Your 5-star DJ in the Cedar Valley. And he has 5 stars, and I only have 1.
But it's gold, Jerry. Gold.
If you've got feedback on any of the above, send it to feedback@talkingtotodd.com or any of the other ways that you all know how to get a hold of us. Todd?
So while you were taking pictures of the former NFL starting quarterback, I mean, sometimes if you're like inside or whatever, it gets pretty dark. If it would have been too dark to take the picture, do you know what you would have needed to grab?
No.
A Miller Lite.
And you complain about my dad jokes? That's funny.
Yes, it is.
Nice work.
Yeah, thank you.
We're not going to have to clean any of that up.
Nope.
Oh, until next week, we've been talking to Todd. So last week on the way home from my Anaheim trip, I'm sitting on the rail at the airport bar, and there's a line out the door. And you got to stand in line to even come and sit at the bar. I'm sitting there, and I've stood in this line for 15 minutes waiting to be able to even enter the bar. Sitting there at the rail and watch a guy just walk straight past the line and straight to the bar. And I look at the guy next to me, and he looks at me, and he's like, people suck. Yeah, people suck.
In defense of the guy, he probably had a Southwest flight to pilot.